we've talked about in the past where I get the ideas for these tech tips, right? And usually, as Oli so eloquently mentioned in one of the comments, it's usually when I screw something up, I come on here and tell you how to not screw something up, or at least try to. But that's not the only place. What's that old saying? A picture's worth 1,000 words. That's something we're going to talk about on this week's Tuesday Morning Tech Tip from Pugliese Speed Shop. So it's just a regular Tuesday in Southern Maryland, and I was cruising the old Facebook because I had nothing else to do. You know, I didn't have any projects to work on or anything. So I got it pretty much tuned in, right, to where it's all cars and motorcycles because I don't really care about anything else that's on there. Except for the marketplace, but that's a different tab, so, But cruising along, and I don't even remember what site I was on or page or group or whatever. I just saw this picture, it caught my eye, and I said to myself, Self, this makes sense to me. It kind of speaks volumes, as they say, and I thought I should share it because it asked a question that I couldn't answer. I mean, I could, and this might be a little bit of do as I say, not as I do thing, but I think you'll get it. So you guys saw the picture, and that's all I saw, right? That picture, and then the caption was, "Why don't people just drive them?" And I said, And it's totally true, right? And like I said, do as I say, not as I do. There's a ton of snow outside. Where's mine? Sitting right here. It hasn't gone outside. Now, I can tell you all the excuses in the world, right? It's all ice out there, and I can't even open the door because there's so much ice, I can't slide the door open to get it, Then I got a hill involved, two-wheel drive truck. I might have been lazy and not, shoveled the driveway, so I might need a new balance when I do get out of it. All excuses because I wasn't worried about it. I have a four-wheel drive truck. Why would I drive the two-wheel drive? And we just spent an awful lot of time underneath this thing, making it nice. Nick did a lot of POR stuff and everything else. So we got these wheels and tires on here that I'm not trying to jack up, and the list goes on. So if you notice in the picture, this is not an old picture, right? You see some newer cars in the background, and you see a 454 SS OBS truck and a notchback 5. They're two extremely sought after 80s and 90s muscle car, truck, right? Performance vehicles. I mean, each one is probably 20 grand. Now, by today's standards, now here's where it gets weird, right? Driving today in my Tundra that was more than 20 grand, I passed quite a few trucks that were $100,000. Diesel trucks and all this stuff. And people are worried about their $20,000 truck. This is not even nowhere near $20,000, and I got it sitting here. Why? Right? And there's a lot of reasons. I mean, one, this one would perform very well. Got it. There's also the fact that they ain't making no more of them. So as they start to rust away and stuff like that, what do? Well, what you do is what Nick did. He pulled it out of the field. He welded new cab corners and rockers on it, and we kept going with the restoration. That's not really the best idea. So now this picture is an extreme, right? Because you see there's snow and ice and whatnot, and neither one of these vehicles, I mean, yeah, as long as there's no hills involved, they'll get them going, but not ideal. So is it an AI thing? Is it what? I don't know. But Now, just take the snow out of that picture. One thing, take the snow and ice out of that picture. Do you think people are daily driving these things and they're sitting on the side of the street like that? They're not. I mean, some of us are, but, well, if you ask old Wade, he don't think I'm doing it enough. And now I was, but like I said, I got all the excuses right now. He's daily driving that Jeep. I just had lunch with that dude today, and I jumped in the Tundra, he jumped in the Jeep. Now, if the XJ was up and running, maybe I would have been driving it. Maybe I wouldn't be. Depends on a few things. So like I said, do as I say, not as I do. But there's no reason you can't daily drive these things. Now, I say that. About 8 or 9 years ago, I daily drove my 65 Chevy. It's the only thing I owned with a motor in it that ran. Because I did have some little beaters. But that was fresh 350. I loved that truck. I drove it every single day. My buddy Jason told me, hey man, you better quit driving that thing every day. You're going to get hit. It's going to happen. And, I was like, whatever. About 6 months or a year later, the truck, for all intents and purposes, was totaled. Now, we're still in the gathering part stage, kind of doing a complete rebuild on that thing. Frame off, it needs a new frame, everything, right? You guys have been following along. Well, he was right. So what do we do? What are our options? Me as a car guy, every time I got to, if I have to buy a new vehicle, when I bought that Tundra, guys, it took me forever. I love the truck. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely love the thing. It does everything I could ever want. It's awesome. But it's not my 65 Chevy, right? It's not my 94 OBS. It's not, because it's just another new truck. There's 1,000, well, way more than 1,000. There's hundreds of thousands of them. They're all over the place. There's probably 12 of them in the parking lot at work. And I don't like that. I'd rather be the only guy with a 65 Chevy. Or just the other day, Nick come through the parking lot, saw the truck for the first time since it was all done, shot a picture of it and sent it to me. And jokingly, the text was, cleanest OBS in the parking lot. And I sent it to Megan. Look what Nick said. And she was like, isn't it the only one? It's not. There's like 3 of them. But it was definitely the cleanest, right? So I like that. I like to, I don't want all the attention, but I do like, it's not, the average person has no idea what this is, right? It's just an older Chevy truck that looks kind of clean and it's a neat color, right? And I don't know how many times when I was driving the 65, we're like, oh, hey, what year is that? Yeah, you get the questions and stuff, but not as much as you would think, really, because for a lot of people, they just don't care. They're like, oh, this guy's broke. This is what he got to drive. So, I mean, why are we, I don't know. I guess you could ask the question, why are you driving it? Because you could end up like my 65. If, somebody smacks that Tundra and totals it, go buy another Tundra. Right? It's not, like I said, they're all over the place. And something happens to this thing, I can replace it. It might take a little while, definitely longer than the Tundra, but what happens if somebody smacks a 65? We already know. You spend 8, 9 years trying to figure out what the hell to do. So, did I just change my own mind in the middle of this tech tip? I don't think so. Because I'm going to continue to drive this one. When the 65 is done, I'm going to drive it as much as possible. Because I don't know. I'm not going to drive either one of them in the snow and ice, because that's just stupid. And the picture is what it is. It proves the point, right? But, yeah. I don't know. Make sure you're well insured. I learned that with the 65. But at the same time, guys, I mean, enjoy your car. Oh, like, oh, I'm going to keep it at the house. I don't want to drive. I don't want to put miles on it. You ever heard the old adage? It's like saving your girlfriend for the next guy. It doesn't make any sense. So, would I drive it through snow and ice where I know there's a higher, way, way higher risk of something happening or even a long term of corrosion and all that? No. But a nice day, I'm driving one of the old ones because that's what I want to do. Hopefully you're doing the same, because if not, man, nobody sees them in the garage. Thanks for watching, guys.